I'm excited to share with you today a little bit about TradeCentric and how we work with organizations who are trying to increase their B2B sales. So today during our presentation, we're going to go through just a short introduction of who we are and talk a little bit about our product, but really want to take some time to share with you how our product punchout impacts the marketplace and what the total addressable market for you is. We'll also have time during our presentation to actually show you the software in action, so you'll be able to see exactly what your buyers are going to be seeing from a purchasing perspective as you offer this technology to them. And then we're going to spend a little bit of time at the close talking about a customer study that was done by a third party that we hired that just talks about the value and benefit that TradeCentric customers see, both from an operational improvement perspective, but also from a revenue growth perspective. My name is Matt Hassler. I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships for TradeCentric. Excited to be here. And joining me today is Jamie Thomas, a Senior Account Executive who will be going through the demonstration and talking about our third-party study. So who is TradeCentric? Well, so TradeCentric has been in this industry for over a decade at this point. We are an integrator, and what we do is we integrate our customers' e-commerce instances to the procurement platforms of their buyers. Those integrations, of which we've done to more than 150 different e-procurement systems, allows buyers and suppliers to connect, automate, and scale their digital trading capabilities. Essentially allows them to do more business with each other easily. All of these integrations are built on a cloud-based integration platform that we offer to our customers to connect to their buyers. And we've done a lot of these integrations. So today, more than $100 billion flows through TradeCentric's platform. We've built more than 15,000 integrations for our customers, and we have over 3,100 connected organizations that are actively buying and selling on our platform. And all of this has led to really explosive growth. And we'll talk a little bit about how the market for punchout is growing because B2B e-commerce and e-procurement are also growing, and how that has impacted our specific growth. And so if you're here today, you are a supplier, you have B2B customers, and you may be serving your B2B customers in a variety of different ways. Perhaps you already have a B2B e-commerce portal in place. And as you're thinking about how you want to serve a larger and larger portion of your customers with your e-commerce instance, most of the conversations I've had, e-commerce starts as a way to reach their long tail customers, smaller revenue customers, to help them reduce the cost of transactions and serve them more efficiently. And as your e-commerce experience gets better and you reach your larger and larger customers, you start running into some complexities and requirements from your buyers. Those requirements might include an individualized buying experience on this screen. It might include the requirement of approval processes. Perhaps one customer is responsible for building the cart, but their supervisor is responsible for approving the transaction. And you also deal with POs and invoices, because rather than using credit cards, you're using payment terms and delayed payments over a 30, 60, or a 90-day period. What TradeCentric helps you with is to help you with your most complex customers. And these complex customers have their own procurement platforms. They've already invested sometimes millions of dollars in these platforms, and they want the purchasing experience to start and end inside their platform. They don't want their employees going directly to your commerce portal. They want to connect to your commerce portal through their system. And that's what TradeCentric helps to do. So you can advance the screen. And this is, frankly, it's a really large market. According to Digital Commerce 360, the market opportunity for B2B commerce driven by e-procurement was over $1 trillion. And it's growing at an 18% rate. And according to Gartner, 40% of B2B transactions originate inside a procurement platform. So if you're looking to serve more and more of your customers, you need these integrations to meet them where their requirements are. And that's what TradeCentric does. Specifically, from a product perspective, we offer what's called punchout. And from a punchout perspective, we then follow the order through the rest of its life cycle, including the purchase order acknowledgments or advanced shipping notices, if those are applicable, and invoice automation. And really what makes TradeCentric so powerful is our ability to work across multiple standards and multiple systems. So I mentioned at the top of the call, we've connected to more than 150 different e-procurement systems. And I understand that all of you may be on a different e-commerce solution. TradeCentric has also connected suppliers on more than 75 different e-commerce systems. And that includes a number of protocols, some of which are listed at the bottom, such as OCI or CXML or EDI. And we work across all of these different protocols in order to help you communicate more effectively with your buyer. And there's a couple different ways that you can go about doing this. You may have potentially an internal team, and you've considered building a connection like this with one of your buyers on your own. And so this is kind of what working with your buyers on an individual basis begins to look like. As each of your buyers has their own buying systems, they have their own standards, they may have specific requirements from a document perspective about fields that are passed between you and themselves for invoices or purchase orders. And because each of these integrations is a unique and direct integration to your buyer, the more buyers that you have taking advantage of these integrations, the more complicated your world becomes. And the amount of work that is needed in order for you to maintain those connections gets more complex as well, leading to requirements to hire more developers or invest more time and money into building these systems. If you work with TradeCentric, what we do is help you simplify all of the complexity that's associated with these integrations. We'll work with you to connect to your system one single time. And whether that's Shopify, BigCommerce, SweetCommerce, or another e-commerce platform that you're utilizing, we have experience across all of those different systems. And once we connect to your system, then we'll do the complicated work of connecting to your buyers and meeting all of their technical requirements so that you can focus on building relationships with your customers and driving sales and leave the technical lift to TradeCentric. So what is a punch out and how does it work? We'll show you here in a minute, but essentially what a punch out is it's a link that lives inside the procurement system of one of your buyers. And your customer will simply click that link and be brought into the e-commerce experience that you've built for them. And while they're there, they'll be able to shop just like you would normally have them shop on your site and build a cart of goods. The difference is that rather than checking out directly from your cart, they will be exporting that cart through TradeCentric back to their procurement system where it'll live as a requisition. And that requisition could be immediately turned into a PO, or it may have some type of internal approval process that'll be handled by that procurement system so that a PO can be issued back to you for order fulfillment. And then we'll take the invoice from you and deliver it back to your customer's e-procurement system to complete the order cycle. To show some of these steps, I'm going to pass the baton over to Jamie so that she can show you what a punch out looks like inside NetSuite's system.
Perfect. Thank you, Matt. So are you guys seeing my screen okay?
I can.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So right now we are within the NetSuite platform. So as a procurement buyer, I am within my NetSuite dashboard, and here I will see all of the logos of my preferred, most important suppliers. So this section here at the top is where my punch-out catalogs live. So the first thing I would point out is that this is prime virtual real estate for the supplier. So there may be 30, 40, 50 different buyers for an organization who may have purchasing authority for their organization. So this visibility is critical and leads directly to what we'll talk about in a minute, and Matt alluded to it, was the fact that suppliers just naturally, by virtue of having a punch out catalog, see a significant uplift in revenue just by having this real estate here on this platform. So in this scenario, I am a buyer for my organization, and I am going to place an order with my vendor B2B eStore, which is our demo instance. So all I do is click on the B2B eStore, and I will be passed into the supplier's website. So that brief moment is all that the buyer would see of TradeCentric. We are an invisible platform to them, so we're transparent. And what we're doing is identifying that buyer and that buying organization and passing them directly into the store where they can shop. So this is a typical buying experience for the user. All of the bells and whistles and tools and features that users like about the websites that they shop on, things like shopping lists and favorite items, all of these tools and features that the e-commerce platform has invested heavily in enhancing the experience for the user. All of that is accessible to the buyer. So all I'm going to do is click on a category. And if I find an item that I want, I'll see here, this is my specific company's pricing. So I'll see products, my pricing, I'll see availability and all of the other features that that site has available for me. So I just added that item to my cart. I'm going to go up here to my shopping cart in the upper right-hand corner and view my cart. Again, I'll see products, I'll see my company's pricing. I have the opportunity to make any modifications here. But instead of actually submitting the order, the only difference here is that I require my manager to approve my order. And we have payment terms, as Matt mentioned a moment ago. We don't pay with a P card. So here, all I have to do is click on Transfer Cart, and that will take all of the cart details for my order and submit them back through to NetSuite as a requisition, where it can go through all of those approval workflows or whatever business rules my company has in place. So it has completely eliminated the need for me as a buyer to rekey that information. And on the supplier side, now my user has seen my website and all of the products and different items that I make available to them. And at this point, all I would have to do once my order is approved, my requisition is approved, is click that Create Purchase Order. And that sends that purchase order back off to the supplier for fulfillment. So it's literally that easy and that succinct of a process for them to submit their order and then still maintain all of the information that they need within NetSuite, for instance. So that was the full demonstration of what punch-out looks like from the buyer side. And we talked about it a moment ago. TradeCentric employed or hired a third-party research company, and they conducted interviews with TradeCentric clients to understand how connected commerce impacted their business and what benefits they experienced as a result of those integrations. So there were two key objectives for that ROI study. One was to understand the efficiencies and the streamlined operations that came out of those integrations, as well as revenue growth. So on the left-hand side, you'll see that there was a significant reduction in the amount of time it took to set up integrations, to process purchase orders, and for managing the invoices. But even more significantly was the uplift that they experienced from a revenue standpoint. So across the board, TradeCentric clients reported that they saw a 20% increase in digital revenue from existing suppliers. So that means that as their buyers were shopping on the e-commerce storefront, just by virtue of having that real estate on their procurement platform dashboard, they got better visibility across their buyers. So they saw that 20% uplift in existing buyers, but then they also experienced a 20% increase from attracting new buyers, because having punchout enabled them to enter new markets or to access customers that they previously could not do business with because they didn't have that capability. So just by having punchout made them easier to do business with, and therefore they saw a subsequent lift in increase from all new subsets of buyers. And then lastly, they also saw a reduction in AR. And really the translation there means they got paid faster. The suppliers, because there was ability to three-way match the invoice to the purchase order to the requisition, reconciliation was now much easier, and that resulted in quicker payments from the customer. And we've got a couple of examples that we saw out of this case study. And again, these were interviews that were done anonymously and directly with the TradeCentric client. So in this first case study, this was a large client of TradeCentric's. And a couple of things that I'll point out here. One, the 3-year ROI. So the positive return that they saw back was within 4.2 months. And they saw a 452% ROI. And the other key that I would take away with this is that the quote that they look to add an additional $30 million in new digital revenue as a result of those integrations. So again, it gave them access to business from buyers that they previously didn't have. And they saw that ROI in a positive return in just a handful of months. And then the second case study was with a smaller client. So again, it was across the board. They did a cross-section of clients in different industries and of different sizes. Here, that positive return they saw within 3.3 months. And they saw a 762% ROI, which was it's just outstanding to see that kind of return that quickly. So again, here, we also will point out the monthly cost of waiting. So not doing these integrations, in addition to the ROI that they saw, not doing the integrations when they did would have cost them $29,000 annually. So again, incredible results that they saw. And I'll point out here the quote, they're now on lists of buyers that they never had a chance with beforehand. So again, enabled them to enter markets that they previously just couldn't compete in.
When you need NetSuite, who do you call? SCG will take care of it all. When you need Shopify, who do